A very good morning to you all, children. I welcome you all to today's session of English literature, in which we are studying the world famous drama of William Shakespeare. The play is The Merchant of Venice, and we are on Act 1, Scene 1, and the scene is of Venice, right? The scene is of Venice, in which the central character of this play, Antonio, is sitting in a very sad and melancholic mood, right? He's sitting very sad in a melancholic mood along with Salarino and Selenio, where is two, you can call them companions, you can call them friends, right? And he is sad because he's in financial trouble, as his aragoses or his ships containing his goods, whom he had sent for business purpose outside Venice, their whereabouts are not known to him. He is not knowing what is happening to their ship. So he's looking sad, but he is an introvert by nature. That is why Antonio is not expressing it out clearly why he's sad or why he's depressed. And see, he says, "In sooth, I know not why I'm so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff it's made of, whereof it's born, I am to learn. And such a want which sadness makes of me, that I have much ado to know myself." So Antonio is saying that I don't know why I'm so sad, and all these things are troubling me as much as they are troubling you. How they have caught me, found it, or came to me, what stuff it is made of what they are made up of, I do not know. And this sadness is now making me like a wanting person. I do not know what is happening. Basically, he's not able to express himself. Now see what Salarino says. Salarino says, "Your mind is tossing on the ocean, and there were your Aragoses with portly sail, like Cynors and rich burghers on the flood. Or as it were, the pageants of the sea do overpeer the petty traffickers that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings." So Salarino tries to butter him by saying that it seems that your mind is at the sea where your ships are, with their sail are, and they are sailing like rich people, like great people, right? Who are sailing in flood, and then as if they are the page and they are the owners of the sea, they're the rulers of the sea, and the other ships are bowing in front of them, and they are your ships are overtaking each and every ship which is coming in the way, right? And it looks as if they are flying with their woven wings. The woven wings is a sight which is made by the sail which is there. Selenio, believe me, sir, had I set ventured forth, the better part of my affection would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still plucking the grass to know where sits the wind, peering in maps for ports and piers on the road, and every object that makes me fear misfortune to my ventures out of doubt would make me sad. Now Salenio is just talking the opposite. He will be talking about the sadistic approach. He's saying, if I would have been in your condition, that I would have been thinking about always my goods, where what has happened to them, what is the condition of my ship. I will be plucking grass to know the direction of the wind, so just to have an idea about where my ships can go, and then I will be peering into the maps and everywhere, just trying to make out where my ships are, because there is a constant fear that any damage, anything can happen to the ship, right? As there can be misfortune also, and all these things will make me sad. Now Salarino says, "My wind cooling my broth," right? My wind cooling my broth. Now this is a very important line here, children. Please remember this. My wind cooling my broth. Now this is, it means that if the air which I am blowing from my mouth, it can cool my soup, then would blow me in an ague when I thought what harm a wind too great at sea might do, right? That means it will bring me a doubt in my mind that what all can this, the air blowing in the sea, can, how badly they can harm your ship, right? Then he's saying, I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and to see my wealthy Andrew dock inside. Now wealthy Andrew, please underline this. Now what happens here, he's trying to say that It would be a foolish thing that if I should keep wasting my time by looking at the hourglass, rather than I should think about that my ship, it might have been damaged. It is lying docked in the sea, wailing her height top lower than her ribs to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of the stone? Right? And it should seem that my ship has been docked in the sand and it is buried there, and the high tops have moved into the ribs. And should I, and he's also asking Antonio that should I go to the church to see the tomb of my ship, and not, this should not be think me straight of dangerous rocks, that it should not persuade me from thinking about the dangerous rocks which are there, which by touching my gentle vessel would have harmed it, would have scattered. Now see, this is the harm here which he is dreaming about now, which enrobe the roaring waters with my silk. Right, these are the two harms. Firstly, if they will touch the ship, then all the spices will be scattered in the stream, and then the silk will enrobe the roaring waters. And in a word, even now worth this and now worth nothing. Shall I have the thought to think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing be chance would make me sad? Now he's saying that at a moment when the Argoses were in the ship, they valued lot, but when they are now on the sea, they value nothing, right? And all these things will make me sad. But tell me now, I know Antonio, you are sad thinking about your merchandise. Now see how Antonio very skillfully cools them and says, believe me, no, no, I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor at to one place, nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. Therefore my merchandise makes me not sad. So Antonio is saying it is not that my venture are not at one place, or are not bottom trusted at one year, nor to one place, and it is my goods are everywhere, and my money is from all the years I have been doing business. Then Salarino says, why are you in love? And then Antonio replies, Fie, fie. That get out, right? So I stop here. There's so many things in this. See, few things we have underlined, and right? And some more points will be there which we will be studying in later on. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did in making it. And until we meet again, it's a goodbye.